All right. Hello again, everybody. Thank you, Kirby, for doing that for me. I think I saw the little bubble. We are now recording. So welcome, everyone, to our second candidate development webinar. My name is Bailey Adams. I am currently serving as a residence director at Oakland University in Michigan. So I am going to figure out how to share my screen real quick. Give me just 1 second. If I can figure this out. If I can't do it, Kirby, I might need you to hop in and help me with it.
So it's at the bottom, Bailey, where it
Yeah.
says share. Click share.
Yeah, I see it now. I was on a shorter screen, so it wasn't working. Okay, so we should be sharing now. Can everybody see my screen? Okay, cool. So welcome to the TPE website. If you haven't already done so, this is what it looks like when you first come to the TPE page, whether you come from a Google search or a link that was shared with you or anything like that. This is the TPE website. So I'm going to show you two different things with logging in and signing up. So if you haven't already created an account or you haven't previously used your account, you can use the sign up today feature where you will go through as a candidate and input all of your personal information. So we'll be putting first name, last name, gender pronouns, email, phone number, phone extension, if you currently have an office phone extension or something like that that you would like to share, what country you're in, and then you will make your password. And from there you can confirm you're not a robot and then submit your candidate profile. Because we want to be able to show you all of like the ins and outs and things like that of this profile, I'm actually going to go back and log in with our candidate dummy account, I guess I could say. It's kind of our fake account that we're going to be using to show you all of the behind the scenes things like that with this account. So let me log in. Hopefully I remembered that password. All right. So when you come in, you will see your name once you've created your profile. Right now we are serving as candidate services because we are the candidate development committee here at TPE. You will see your current professional level and your experience once you put all of that in through your TPE account and you make your whole profile. So I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of what buttons are here, kind of what the dashboard looks like, and then each of us are going to kind of take turns explaining more of it. So here in the dashboard, you'll see this bright orange label up at the top that says your profile is currently set to private. To make your profile public and searchable, edit your profile search visibility. So this was done in our profile settings, which we'll get to in just a couple of minutes, but it's a good reminder that is up at the top of your dashboard so that you know when your profile is visible or not visible to employers. The next thing I want to talk about is TPE on-site event links. So right now you'll see a lot of things. We've got a coupon up there for $25 off NASPA if you plan on going to NASPA and TPE together. We have some quick links about making hotel reservations, candidate event information, on-site schedules once everything begins, Facebook links, and things like that. So this is where you're going to find our most important quick links for on-site events, on-site happenings, and things like that. Next, we have our favorite jobs. So right now we have not gone through and saved any jobs, but once we start that job process, your dashboard is where a lot of this information is going to come up. So saved your favorite jobs is going to be right here. You can click to view all or edit them. Maybe you decide you don't want to go to a specific institution anymore. You can go back through and edit it. Next, we have saved searches. So this is where you can save, maybe you're looking in a specific region, you're looking at a specific state or a specific level, position, and things like that. So you can use your saved searches here so you don't have to go back through and create those searches all again. Again, we'll go through more of these details soon. We also have favorite institution and then recommended jobs. So the magic of TPE and all the little things behind the scenes technology rise, once you input all of your personal information and what current experience you have and things like that, TPE will actually generate some recommended jobs of what they think you might be interested in or what may fit some of the categories that you have selected. Last thing on the side here, we do have some important dates. So some of these have already passed, but a lot of them are still coming up. So TPE virtual registration opened on November 1st. TPE on-site intern applications open on November 22nd. And then it's got a lot of the on-site dates coming up and things like that too. So keep on the lookout for some of those important dates down here at the bottom, you have more favorite posts. So this will be maybe you like some of our blog posts and things like that. Have you seen our career resources? It says currently, so you can click there and favorite some of those posts or maybe those blogs that you've seen that you want to come back and refer to later. It does have a lot of quick links all over the dashboard here. So right here, you'll see start your job search today. We could click search now and go dive right in. But next we're gonna be going over the profile. So we won't do that quite yet. And then down here at the bottom, we have some pretty basic account settings. So this is not gonna be like your profile settings from what employers will view, but more of like those personal settings. So do you want email communication from TPE? Do you need to change your password? Do you need to change your phone number or billing address or anything like that? So that's where you can find all this. The last thing I do want to go over is at the very top. So obviously, like I said, our name currently is Candidate Services, so we are CS. This is kind of like where our little menu tab and everything like that is. So you'll find our TPE on-site job posting, general information, on-site general information for candidates, event schedule, locations, lots of different things here, career resources as well. And then this is going to be like our main menu tab. So this is where you can find your account, dashboard settings, how to edit your profile, view your profile as if you were an employer, your transaction history. So once you register for TPE, or maybe you're registering for NASPA and things like that too, this is where all your transactions will be housed kind of all in one spot. And then job search topics. So all the different tabs that we talked about within the dashboard, these are the quick links to be able to get to anything. So while we are going through everything, you can kind of always navigate your profile, navigate our dashboard and all of our settings and things like that through our menu by clicking on your name there. Kirby or Rob, anything to add about our dashboard before we move on? Okay, awesome. I will hand it over to Rob then. Let me stop sharing my screen and we'll go from there.
Cool. Thank you, Bailey. Let me share my screen. Might be helpful if I put something on that screen. All right. So for those of y'all who just joined, my name is Robert Braswell. I'm a member of the Candidate Development Committee. I'm currently the Senior Associate Dean of Students at the University of North Texas. And so I will be walking you all through your actual profile, the profile that you're going to use, your profile that you're setting up for TPE through your job search process. I'm still on the dashboard at the moment, so you can access your profile through the dashboard using the Edit Profile button here. And so it will take you to your dashboard. As Bailey was saying, our profile now, the Candidate Services one, is currently private, and so no one is able to search that profile. Employers, when I say no one, I mean employers are not able to search our profile because we have it set as private. And so here at the top of the screen, this is where you will see whether or not you want it to be private or if you want it to be public. And so it's pretty much, do you want other people to be able to find your profile and be able to review your information that you have set here on profile. And so I'll just walk you through. At the top here is our general information section. And so this is where your name will already be attached to the profile, but here you'll be able to put a subtitle. So if it's something where you want to put like a description of yourself, like a diversity advocate or a residence hall coordinator, or put some different things similar to like your, what is the word? Your Myers-Briggs and things like that, or strength quest, or strengths, things like that, to highlight who you are. You're able to do so, but by no means is it required. It's an optional setting that you can use. The next piece is the professional level. So how do you identify yourself? Do you identify yourself as an undergraduate? Are you currently a graduate student, new professional, mid-level, senior level? Are you an AVP, Chief Student Affairs Officer, or faculty member? And this also kind of helps filter the types of jobs that will populate for you if you use the option that's on the dashboard that says recommended jobs or recommended positions. This would kind of help filter that as well. And this will also let employers know at what level are you currently at. And so each of these things means something different for individuals. So just make sure that you're choosing what best fits you and your current abilities or your current level of current professional level. And that's the same thing with experience. With the amount of years you want to be able to list the years of experience that you have. And so some people may include their undergraduate experience, or some people may include their graduate level experience or the professional level of experiences. So just make sure that you're using what you think is your best or what's appropriate for your level of experience. So everyone has a different, everyone has a different way of classifying their levels of experiences. So just be aware of that. And different employers will look at experiences at different levels. So there's really no right or wrong, but just make sure that you're identifying your levels of experiences that you have. And then you're also able to provide a summary. And so this is the piece where you're pretty much giving your elevator speech. You're not able to meet this person in person, but your profile is the one that they're going to be able to read and highlight who you are. So this profile is really your first impression on the employers. And so here you can, for example, we have, my name is Candidate Development. I'm currently working as a graduate assistant at the University of Mid-Atlantic. And I have these experiences, and this is who I am. It's kind of like what you can put in that summary box. And so, like I said, this is really like your elevator speech. We always say practice your elevator speech, or people always encourage people to practice their elevator speech. And so that's where you're able to articulate that speech. And then our next level, or our next piece on the candidate profile, is the employment preferences. And so at this place, this is where you will be able to choose your preferences and what you're looking for. We all know the different functional areas that we're looking for positions in, and we know areas that we don't want to particularly work in. And so here's a list that we have. Are you looking for administrative jobs, adult commuter, off-campus, student services, athletics, career services, communications, counseling, development, disability services, facilities, first year orientation, fraternity and sorority life. And so it's just a lot of different functional areas here listed. And so you're able to click the multiple areas that you're looking for. And this will help populate those filtered jobs. And then also when you do your search, it'll populate those jobs that you have an interest in. And as employers are searching for candidates who match what they're looking for, if you've clicked one of the functional areas, you'll populate in those employers field, the employer search as well. So that's how employers are able to find you once your profile is public. And then there's also a piece here where you're able to talk about the institutional category preference. Are you looking for a 4-year, a 2-year, or less than 2-year institution? And you're also able to identify state preferences. And so you can search, or you can select multiple states. If you know you're looking for certain areas, you can populate that to only give you jobs in those certain areas and refer certain jobs from certain states for you while you're doing your search. And also you'll populate on the employer side when they're able to look for people who may be looking for jobs in Texas. And I just say Texas because I live in Texas. So you'll be able to populate based on where those candidates are looking. So they'll be able to filter you based on that. And if you don't have a preference, you can leave it blank, or is there an option for all? So they'll be able to locate you that way. And then also you're able to filter it through your institutional type. If you know the type of institutions you want to work at, you're able to preference those as well. And really this whole employment section is helping you cater your search and put your preferences in of what type of institutions you're looking for and the areas, functional areas you want to work in.
One thing to note, particularly with these options, the employment preferences. And so this is what's going to be shown to employers in terms of when they're able to see your profile, and if they are, as they are searching folks, they can see like, all right, who is interested in what particular job interests or things like that. And then going back again to the actual kind of like we'll talk about that in a second in terms of as you're job searching, that's kind of like the recommended search piece is going to come into play. But there are specific settings on, and I'll show you in a bit, that shows you how to filter your search as you are actually looking at jobs.
Cool. Thanks, Kirby. And then also the next piece on your profile are different links in different areas that you're able to display to employers. So you want to be able to share your LinkedIn profile, Twitter profiles, Facebook, any websites or blogs that you have. You're able to link that here as well, so employers are able to see. Just be cognizant that they'll be able to see whatever you have on your profiles. I don't want to say you need to clean your profiles up. That says something negative, that you got stuff people shouldn't see. But just be cognizant that they'll be able to see whatever you're providing them to look at prior to TPE or anything like that. And the next piece is your work history. And so this is a piece, it's not a required piece, but it will be able, completing the work history piece will help you have a complete profile. So employers can see all of your information at one while they're scrolling through your profile. So they can see your work history. And then so you can fill this out similar to how your resume is set up, with the position descriptions and things like that, and with the information from your resume as well. I know that we have a section for you to include your resume, but this is just to make sure that your profile is full and employers are able to just scroll through and look at everything without having to go and pull up your resume or cover letter in a separate screen, things like that. They can scroll through and see things. And that's just, I guess I shouldn't have put my thought in that. As an employer, it's just easier. I've been on the employer side before, and it's just a lot easier to scroll through to see a full profile instead of looking at the profile and trying to find the resume and then the cover letter type of thing. But it's just a little bit easier on that employer side. And that's just my own personal preference, not a disclaimer of TPE. That was Robert's personal preference. And so you all can do it however you want, but you can just fill in the job piece as well. And then there's an option here to update your education. And so this will help employers know whether or not you're an undergraduate student or a bachelor's level employee or someone with a master's degree, a PhD, so they can see all of that through your profile. At some positions at TPE are bachelor's level, some are master's level. And so they'll be able to help them filter that and kind of look through your profile to see at what educational level you are without reaching out to someone who has a bachelor's if they're requiring a master's, or reaching out to someone with a master's if they're requiring a PhD for their positions. And then also, if you have any scholarly articles you want to share, there's also a link here to where you can add any of those articles you may want to share. I know we spoke with the doctoral student earlier who may have some of those scholarly articles and things like that. So you're able to link that there. And then also on your profile, you're able to upload documents. And so we have options here for you to upload a portfolio you might want to share, your cover letter, and your resume that you want to share for employers to be able to review on your profile. And so once you upload those documents, you also have an option here where you can share them on your profile or show them on your profile or not show them on your profile. And so that's something you, as you're still creating your profile or resume and things like that, you have that option of stating when you, or selecting when you're ready for someone to be able to review your materials. And then you want to, once you've updated everything, and some people work in stages. I know it took me a few days to upload my stuff. So as you're doing it, just make sure that you're saving your items and your information. And then it will take you back to this main page. And so you can also view your profile. So you can see your profile in the way that employers will see your profile. And so here is your summary that you would have, your list of documents that you have, and then any links that you may have given them as far as your LinkedIn, your Facebook, or any of those social media accounts. And then they can also see here your candidate preferences. So they can see what type of institutions, for example, on our account, we're interested in housing and residence life, leadership development, multicultural diversity, and service learning or volunteerism positions. So they're able to see that. And they know that we're also looking for a four-year institution and a public institution. Because sometimes employers will view your profile and reach out to you based off what you have on your profile. So that will kind of help them know if they have a fraternity and sorority life position. We haven't stated that we're interested in fraternity and sorority life. So that kind of helps them out in that aspect. And they can also scroll down to see your work history. They see our education here. We have our bachelor's, we have our master's. And then this is pretty much the overview of our profile. Sorry, not their profile, our profile. And then Kirby will now walk us through our job search. Stop sharing my screen.
All right, before we transition to the job search aspect of the work of the website, wanting to pause and recognize that we just kind of threw a lot of info at you so far, and wanted to open it up to any questions that you all may have about what we've covered. Feel free to add them to the chat. If you would like to say your question via the video or audio feature, you're also more than welcome to do so as well. You would just have to make sure you unmute yourself. Well, no questions so far. That's cool. If anything does come up, you all are more than welcome to put your questions in the chat feature, and we'll be sure to keep an eye on that and address them as they do arise. So, all right, great. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the time to talk to you all about the how to actually go about like navigating the various jobs that are posted through the Placement Exchange website. And so we're still currently on our dashboard here with our account. And so there are a multitude of ways in which you can navigate to searching for positions. And so if you click jobs up top, you can click find jobs. You can search jobs here. You can also begin your job search, like searching for positions there. If you click on the drop down button here that then populates this menu, there's another option here for where you can click new job search. Those links will direct you to the job search page. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on the new job search via this menu there. All right. And so once you click on that button, you will be directed to what is considered to be the job search homepage. And so the way in which you're viewing positions now are going to be all of the listings that have been posted to the TPE website as of November 20th and beyond, and then before that. And so currently you will see here it lists that 108 listings or so are found. One of the things that I want to highlight here is that this is a mixture of positions across various functional areas, across various experience levels, things along these lines, also ranging from positions in terms of if you're currently looking for someone to fulfill the role within a quick timeline, or for folks who or for employers who may be giving the jump in preparation for what the job search is going to be in the spring if they are planning on to attend TPE. And I'll share and highlight a distinct feature or piece for you to notice the difference between that in a second. But know that folks utilize the TPE website to be able to host a variety of different listings, even if they aren't necessarily attending TPE. And so if you plan on utilizing, know that you utilize the TPE website, even if you don't necessarily plan on attending TPE on site. So before we get into like clicking on any of these listings here, I wanted to highlight the search feature that's up top. And so if you knew a specific job title or keyword or even location that is related to your job search, you can type that here. So if you knew you wanted to be a residence director, then you could type that in and then click search. And then anything that falls under that title based off of how someone listed, the employer listed the position, those are the listings that would pop up. And so our previous page. There also is an option for you to click on the select category button, which here actually allows you to filter the various positions based off of functional area. So if you knew that you were interested in looking at positions that are focused on in career services, you could click career services, click search. And then it would populate the positions that have been categorized under career services that are listed here. And then you'll notice here up top, right underneath search jobs, it'll have what applied filter that you have for the position, for whatever jobs that you're looking for. If you want to clear that search, you can click this X here, and then it'll reset back to the page. Or you can also click reset search here, and then it will go ahead and clear the all of the filter settings that you placed there. One thing that you can also notice too, if you want to get real specific about your search. And so if you know that you only want to look for jobs in Chicago, even if you want to get real specific about the area code, like the specific region of Chicago, if you wanted to go ahead and specify that you're looking for a full-time position or an internship or assistantship, even down to institutional type, as well as even institutional name. So if you knew that you only wanted jobs at DePaul University in Chicago, you could type in DePaul University, and it would filter whatever results may be there as it relates to that particular institution. And then even to the left here, you'll see there is a requirements section as well as listing type. I'll talk about listing type for a sec. And so listing type, if you check this box here that says TPE on-site event jobs only, what will happen is a list will be generated of all of the positions that will be present at the on-site event in the spring. And so that would generate what those positions are. And then right below it, you can see that you can even specify the educational level that is required, may be required for a position. Also indicate the years of experience that may be required for a position. And even if you wanted to, you could put in a salary minimum. Please note that not all employers include a salary minimum in their version of putting together a posting. And so sometimes there may be jobs that you are interested in, but it may not necessarily specify it through that way. And so that would be additional information that you would have to inquire with the institution about. And then here's the actual slider in which you could put to specify what your salary minimum is. And then here you even see there's a checkbox for those institutions that may not put that there to specify whether or not you are still interested in seeing positions that may not have a salary selected. And then once you have indicated all of the various things that you would want here as it relates to your specific search or your filters, there's two things that you can do. So one, you can click the Save This Search button. And so as Bailey alluded to earlier on your dashboard, you can actually go back and then you would be able to see what your search results based off of your filters would be here. And you can click there and then it would regenerate an update based off of as positions are being added. Or you can go ahead and then click update results. And then from here, the listings would update based off of the things, the criteria that you selected. And so that would be able to allow you to be a little bit more specific in what you are looking for as it relates to your search. I know for myself personally, I was just very curious about everything that was listed. And so I didn't even necessarily utilize this feature. I actually kind of combed through every of the all of the pages. And so it really is up to you and how you want to navigate your search. And so, but just know that that feature is there and can be pretty handy to help expedite or navigate your search a little bit more efficiently. As you scroll down through the actual listings themselves, and so you'll see that again, you'll see the date in which the job was posted to the website, and then as well as the job title, the location in which the job is, as well as the institution. And then if you were to click on the button to the right that says View Job, so I'm going to go ahead and click Residence Director for the University of Utah, click View Job. That will then take you to essentially the employer's profile page, so to speak, or essentially the posting for this particular job. And so up top, you'll see what the position is. Here, they specifically included the position number for their institution there. You'll see various titles there. And then here, you'll see a couple of options. And so you'll see an apply now button. I'll go back to that in a second. Some institutions have that route to actually their their institution's HR website, which would then direct you to actually how to apply on their website. Here's a button here that says favorite this job. And so if this is something that you may be interested in, you can click favorite this job. And then when you go back to your dashboard page, it'll actually have it listed on your dashboard for you to be able to revisit at any point. There's also the contact employer button here. And so if you were to click that, it would generate kind of like an email sort of form to where you can email whoever is the employer or representative for this posting with any questions or comments that you may have. There's even the option for you to copy the sender in relation to that. Kirsten, correct me if I'm wrong. I noticed sometimes this differs based off of the settings that the employer may have selected, because I know for some you can attach materials to or things like that. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're correct. We really want to leave, each employer does their recruitment process differently, so we really leave that option up to them. Yeah. We, similarly to this, we work with them on some best practices, but oftentimes their hands are tied based on the way their HR office also wants them to do it. And so as a result, sometimes you can just hit apply and it's more sending a message. Other times they will say to apply directly to a university HR site. They may also sometimes put a deadline where you've had to have already applied before TPE takes place. So they have a chance to review those resumes. Others, you can not apply until after you've actually met with them. So I recognize as a candidate that can be hard to keep track of all of it because each employer is different. So definitely make sure you take the time to look where their information gets sent to and you know who the to goes to, special instructions they have, and so forth. But yep, Kirby's exactly right.
Thanks, Kirsten. Yeah. And so it's very important that you take the time to actually go through this, like the listing here, because it will specify I'll say some employers do a pretty good job of specifying and putting in all the directions and things that you may need to know as a candidate, as a potential candidate. And so up top, this is like the job overview. And so it'll highlight again the institutional type, the number of positions that are available, institution size, the employer ID that's that's linked to like their HR page, as well as any benefits that may be affiliated with the position. Some places are good about putting all of the things there. Other places may not necessarily include all of the information, but it may be listed further down here in the position description piece. And so if you would scroll further, you see that. There also is a spot where folks can, as you're thinking about the various identities you hold and the various policies that institutions may have, you can see here institutions that have actually policies in place in relation to various anti-discrimination policies. And so here there's a gender expression identity policy, sexual orientation policy, etc. And so here you'll see the position description. And so oftentimes you'll see employers will sometimes like copy and paste from what may be listed on the HR website. Here they may also specify specific instructions for folks that may be interested in the position. So for example, here you'll notice that they put the priority review date here so folks can know that if you're interested in applying for the folks that interested in applying to this position, you need to make sure you do so by, or being considered for, you need to do so by the 28th of next year. And so they will give you an overview of what they are looking for in a candidate, what their department is about, things along those lines. To the left here in this kind of like bar, you'll see they'll also specify any education or experience requirements. And so this particular position, they're looking for a candidate that has at least 2 to 4 years of experience. And then you'll further go down and you'll see they've included compensation information, how they complete a background check, the responsibilities of the position and so forth. And so making sure you take the time to review this as you are navigating whether or not this is a job that you would be interested in. Here they also listed specifically like to apply, this is the link in which you would go to. And so this particular institution is requesting that folks actually apply prior to actually interviewing at TPE, and then they would navigate how they actually interview candidates from that process. And then if you're actually interested in applying to the institution, you can go ahead and click apply now. I'm just gonna, I think it opens up in a new link. So I'll click apply now, and then a new link would open and bring you to the website's page, the HR page in relation to the specific position that you're looking for. And you would go through the process to apply for the job. So, and then here at the bottom, you'll see there's a link that says view all jobs for University of Utah. And so if there are other jobs that may not necessarily be in the same functional area or maybe in the same functional area that are being represented from the University of Utah, you can click on view all jobs, and then it would list all of the positions here that are connected to University of Utah that's on the TPE website. And then you'll see even there's a button here where you can click save this institution if you are looking for multiple jobs within a same institution. So I'm gonna go back home. This is actually gonna take me to the TPE page. So I'm gonna go ahead and just click search. This is another way in which you can look for jobs when you come straight from the main page of the website. And so if you were to keep scrolling through the jobs, and so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next like tab, you'll start to see that some positions here listed have a couple of like key features that help distinguish them from some of the other jobs. So for example, here at Duke University, there's a couple of things here that make it a little bit more distinct than some of the others. So one, you'll see that there's a note here that says event post. And so even as I hover over it, you'll see that it says viewable by TPE on-site event attendees only. And so what that means is if you were to be navigating the TPE website and you're logged in, but however you're not registered to attend TPE, you wouldn't be able to see this job post because it's they only essentially are interviewing candidates that will be attending TPE. There's also the key, which pretty much notes the same thing, that says viewable by TPE on-site event attendees only. And so this just gives you the distinction for you to know that if you are not attending the on-site event, then that you would not necessarily be potentially not eligible to be considered for this job. So just wanting to highlight that. And since we're registered for TPE through this account, we would be able to click on view job, and then similarly, you would be able to see the information that's listed here in relation to the job overview, the job description, things along those lines. Yep, and then even at the bottom, you'll see there's a spot here that says interviews for this position are being conducted at the TPE on-site event. And so if you were to click this, it would then direct you to actually where the on-site event is and when registration opens and a bunch of other information as it relates to the on-site event and future on-site event dates. All right, cool. And then here, for example, under application information, you'll see that this is a little bit different than one of the previous postings that we looked at. And so you don't necessarily see the apply, well, there's the apply now button there. But also here down at the bottom, you'll see that they give specific instructions to candidates on how they should submit their materials and what their review process is going to be around deadlines and things like that. And so here Duke specifies that candidates will be able to apply through the Duke HR portal after TPE concludes. And so going back to what Kirsten said before, employers are going to be different across the board in terms of what their process is going to look like. And so it's very important that you are being attentive to what employers are specifying about how to navigate applying for the position. Yeah, and so you can go back to your search results based off of what you may have put in, or you can start a new search. So, yeah.
Kirby, can I clarify one point?
Sure.
So if you go into, I'll have you do it on your screen. If you go into advanced search up top, and then click the button that's TPE on-site events only, and then update results. So I want to show you a little bit of a difference. You'll notice if you scroll down, as Kirby explained, the event post and the keys, there's a couple that say premium event post. So some employers will post a job that's at TPE, but all of the job details are still viewable by anybody who has a candidate account, whether you're coming to the on-site event or not. So that's what are called the premium event posts. Similarly, the event post with the key, if you're currently not registered for TPE, you can still see the name. You just won't be able to see any of the job details or have that opportunity to contact the employer and apply. So you might be able to see the position, but not the details. So that's a little bit of a difference. I just wanted to clarify that in case any of you are following along and are able to see some of the jobs but haven't yet registered for the event. You just won't have the opportunity to interview or see the job details.
Thank you for that distinction, Kirsten.
Sure.
Yeah, and so here too, if you click or hover over premium event post, you see that it says viewable by everyone. So, yeah. Awesome. And then the same information like applies. So, all right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Cool. I see the message Kirsten just sent me. And just wanted to go ahead and open it up for any general questions, comments that folks may have with regards to the TPE profile page, how you all can create and edit your profile, as well as how you would go about navigating the job search feature on the website.
You can also throw questions in the chat feature if that works easier, if you don't want to unmute yourself and speak in front of everybody.
Cool. So we have a question around what are some other documents that you recommend adding to your profile? Good question. And so I guess let me go back to sharing my screen again. All right. So if you go to the edit profile page and if you scroll down, there are a couple options that you can add here. Ignore some of the things that we have on our page in terms of it being just kind of like a test account. And so if you click here, by where it says type, you'll see that you can select resume, cover letter, or portfolio. I've also have noticed that some folks can choose to put in a reference sheet if that's something that they may be interested in doing so. And so that's what if you wanted to do so. And under the display name, you could type reference sheet. So it's not necessarily specifically a resume. We can actually look forward probably to try to get that adjusted. But you could upload a reference sheet if that's something that you wanted to do. As Rob alluded to earlier, portfolio. And so those of you all that are in grad programs and may be required to do some sort of portfolio or capstone or anything like that. And if you wanted to share, or you want to put your dissertation on here for some of our doc students, that's also another opportunity for you to upload that. It really is up to you in terms of what you do want to upload to the site. One of the things that I also want to note, and I think often comes up as a question from our candidates, is what type of resume that you may want to put on here. And so acknowledging that you are applying for a number of different positions, your materials should change based off of the position that you are applying for. My personal recommendation would be that your profile page will be just a kind of general template resume, as well as a general cover letter that may just highlight that you're looking for a position within a particular functional area, and these are some of the experiences that you have. But as you are navigating and looking at specific jobs, you would want to steer clear of utilizing like those general like template materials for specific positions that you're applying for. Because remember, the profile page is just going to be it's just going to be an overview, a quick overview of who you are and what you're potentially looking for to employers who are able to see your profile if your profile is public. And so, good question. Thank you.
I do
Anything else I wanted to add?
I was just gonna say, I do want to throw like kind of a caveat. If I'm able to say like my unsolicited opinion a little bit. I think one of the questions I get most, whether it be from grad students here at my institution or just from peers asking questions, is do we make a generic cover letter to put out there, even though when you apply to the institution, you're going to have to write a specific cover letter for that specific job. And I would say that's up to you. That is absolutely up to what you want to put out there, what you're wanting to brand yourself as, how much work you're willing to put into this too. I think Kirby and Rob both said you can put all of this information, you can put some of this information. It is up to you. There isn't one specific right way to do it. But again, just taking into consideration that if you put something out there, employers are going to look at it. So you want to make sure you're not putting your MSU cover letter in there if that isn't your generic cover letter. You want to put a generic cover letter if you're going to put something out there. So quick caveat.
I'm actually going to log into my account from back in the day. Don't get at me because it's been a minute since I have been on this page, but I know there's like a few things that are still there that may still be useful. And so at one point I had a picture there. Did we get rid of the picture option, person?
You can, where yours says KG, that little logo, you can upload a picture. You should be able to see it under edit profile. I'm not sure. I'll check into that.
Okay. I know back in the day when I was a TPE candidate.
Actually, I'm sorry. I take that back. That is correct. Actually, candidates cannot. There used to be the opportunity, but then based on some of the feedback that we received from evaluations, we didn't want, there was thoughts that people just didn't want any employers to be making decisions based on profiles or anything like that. So we went down just to the initials. Institutions can post a logo. So they still have the opportunity, but instead of a picture, theirs would just be like a university seal. So yes, it used to be there, but now it's gone. Where you can attach like your resume and cover letter, there's a portfolio option. And, you know, as Kirby mentioned, you could post your dissertation. You could post a link to a picture of yourself if you wanted. But we have taken that down from the specific profile.
Cool. Thank you for the clarification, because I was like, I remember.
Sure. Sorry, I forgot off the top of my head. Sorry about that.
Cool. And so this was actually my profile page from back in 2014, 2015 when I was a candidate. And so here you see like the subtitle that Rob mentioned before in terms of like what you could put there. And so I put in higher education administration graduate student, and then you specify your graduate level and experience and things like that. Here under summary, it was me kind of highlighting like one being the fact that I'm a graduate student hoping to start my career in student affairs. And then here I kind of listed some of the experiences that I have that aren't necessarily like it highlights, it's like a highlight of things that are represented in my resume, but a little bit more distinct and just kind of highlighting like I have experience in working with faculty and staff, and I have supervision supervision experience, and like here's kind of like my philosophy around the ways in which I do supervise, the things that I've done in terms of like presentation and development workshops, a whole number of different things. And then even here you'll see there's links that are connected to my LinkedIn profile as well as my Twitter profile if anybody wanted to go to that. I uploaded a generic resume here. I wonder I need to look at that and see which one that is. It's been a while. the job preferences that I had in terms of what I was interested in at the time in terms of my search. And then here, as Rob alluded to, the information that I listed in terms of the various experiences that I had throughout my career, as well as my education experiences. And so, again, it is really based off of personal preference in terms of what you want to like share in terms or upload to the profile page. It's just one way for you to be able to convey who you are and utilize the TPE website to communicate with employers. Other questions? No questions? We did our due diligence, y'all.
I feel like I'm just making faces at myself, like, yeah, I do.
Kirsten, are there any kind of additional things that you wanted to share that we may have not highlighted?
I don't think so. I think you guys did a great job walking through everything. I do know every once in a while, our system, people have trouble posting their resume and actually getting it to post. So one thing, if you remember on the beginning of the candidate services profile, it was currently set to private. So for sometimes you need to first set it to public to be able to post your resume. That doesn't happen for everybody. I think it depends on kind of the web browser that you're using. But if you have any questions, you can always email the candidates at theplaceofexchange.org or give us a call or info. And we've helped people attach resumes before on the back end if you do have any challenges. My only other thing, since you asked, as you notice, there were not many event job posts already up on the website. And I know this was mentioned before, but just to reiterate, right now, I think there's only, fewer than 20 positions posted, but we have had, close to 100 positions purchased. So know that means employers are planning to post the jobs. They just haven't yet. And the majority of our employers won't even register for the event until December, January, when they've got a little bit of a lull after the semester ends. So continue to keep looking at the job postings. They will continue to change, and we will have then an even greater influx of positions posted right before the on-site event. There will be a lot of people that they're waiting for their HR offices to approve it, and that'll finally happen in March, even though the event's in March.
All right. Last call for questions, comments, anything of that nature. All right, cool. Well, on behalf of TPE and the Candidate Development Subcommittee, we appreciate you all joining us this evening to learn a little bit more about how to navigate the TPE website and create a TPE profile. We hope that this information was very useful to you all, and if so, feel free to share the love with your peers and colleagues once this does become available on our various, on our YouTube channel for you to be able to come back and revisit. And as Kirsten alluded to before, if you have any questions at all, feel free to email the candidates at theplaceofexchange.com page or email account for any questions that you may have. So awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.